All right, we are going to our theme scripture for today. We're using the same scripture that we began to share on last week. I just still feel that's real heavy in my spirit right now. I want to stay on that in Matthew chapter 6, verse 25. Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what you shall eat or what you shall drink, nor yet for your body what you shall put on. It is not the life more than meat, and the body more than raiment. I'm really compelled. I just want to stay focused on this area of ministry, because I believe that Jesus is our greatest life teacher. And when we see a passage like this, that's a slice from his sermonic instruction on the what we call or refer to as the Sermon on the Mount. This is a part of his specific ministry message to the men he called to follow him. He wanted to make sure they understood what was important in life. I must say to you and I today that is still an important, emphatic truth. We need to understand what life is really all about. We need to understand what's important in life. You know, it's real easy to just get caught up, and put the focus on following Jesus, following the mass, if you will, just getting, lining your membership up in a local church and just start joining the various organizations and auxiliaries, etc. But Jesus was not satisfied with men just following him. He wanted them to understand important truth. More specifically, he took a conscientious amount of time to talk to his disciples about life truth. Truth that's important concerning how we should live, or what's important in life. This is just one of several examples that we see highlighted here in this part of his sermon. Verse 25 in Matthew, Jesus focuses his attention on what's important in life. And so I want to pick up where we were previously in this same conversation, the contrast between your life and the life. You know what, and I want to even get mechanical here. I want you to find some note paper, get something to write with. I want you to just follow me with this illustration, because I think it's important for us to understand the net value of this instruction, that Jesus is trying to push men away from the normative values in life and trying to get them to see something beyond that. When I say normative values, what I mean by that, the value system that we are born into. We are born into this world that has its own value system to define and to determine, to tell us, those of us who are born into this world, what's important and what's not. And sometimes we get so caught up with that, even as Christians, as believers, that we take on normative value of the world that we live in, and we begin to make it our value. As a matter of fact, I hate to say this, but in many cases, we even try to Christianize normative value behaviors. We look at what, our neighbors are doing. We see what kind of house they live in, or what kind of car they drive, what kind of income they have. And then we begin to build our prayer life around what we see in someone else's backyard. Not understanding that God hasn't called you to become conformists. God hasn't called you and I to become identical to the world that we live in. He's called us to recognize that there is a greater value. There is a greater value in life beyond what you see in this world.